Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here I have a great article for you guys from Mike over at Light Reading. I will leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So I'm using this article as a placeholder. And I also gave the members some additional info in the member section. So if you guys want to join that, a link to it will be in the description so you guys can check that out. But I want to add to that in this video. So what Verizon is doing right now, and I mean just about everything except one thing, well maybe two, it's simply not working. Right? None of it is working. The planned restructuring on the management side, moving Kyle Milady to the business side, moving Sampath to the consumer side, none of that has bared any fruit yet. None of it. Introducing the new My Plan, that hasn't changed anything. Churn was still up quarter over quarter. They still took losses on the consumer side. Maybe they did take less losses, I guess, if you want to call that a win, but they still took losses. So that's not working. And then a lot of people are asking me about the whole millimeter wave situation. And even going into 2024, there's really no business case for millimeter wave right now. Yes, it's a great performer. It's great if you're in a huge venue and you can pull 4 gigs down. That's good for you, the consumer, but you're not paying more for that connection. So it's not really helping Verizon. The churn is still up. So millimeter wave has not kept churn down. So it's I don't want to say it's useless for Verizon, but it's not helping them achieve their mission and their goals. And it's not bringing a huge chunk of money onto the balance sheet. It's just not. So what is it, what does it really do for Verizon? It's not doing anything right now. So that's not really working. And then the marketing, the new marketing that they're putting into into the national advertising campaign, and then the digital side, that's not really working either, because it's not translating into numbers. If the numbers are there, right? If they're doing 400,000 ads a quarter, churn is low, then you can say it's working. Even if you don't like it, even if if the marketing is not your taste, you can still say it's working because they're growing in a positive way. But they aren't. That's the problem. So none of this is working. Hans has a huge problem on his hands, and members, you guys will see that in the members exclusive content. Hans has a huge problem on his hand, and that's not just in a few markets. That's pretty much at nationwide scale that he has to figure out how to address. And I don't know how he does that. I don't know if he's the right guy for the job. I've said in plenty of videos that he's not, but apparently the board wants to keep him around. Eventually, his contract is going to be up, and we'll see if he can sign for another 5 years or however long. Or if he steps down and then the successor, the CFO that just got the permanent position, takes over as CEO. We'll see how that pans out. But right now, they are not competitive at all. Maybe they feel they have a competitive offering across the board, but it's not working because it's not translating into positive numbers. The only 3 positives at Verizon right now is they're still making free cash flow, and they're increasing that. The fixed wireless access is a huge positive momentum. And then they're still growing on business, which I anticipate that business growth to also temper because T-Mobile and AT&T are getting more aggressive on that side too. And T-Mobile stated at the quarterly earnings that their benchmark competitor, which is Verizon, of course, they're beating them quarter over quarter on business in ads and on churn. So none of it is working, right? Fixed wireless access is good, but eventually they will reach a ceiling that will tap out, right? They want to get to 4 to 5 million Right now, publicly, we don't know what they want to do beyond that. Are they going to go higher? I'm sure they will. If T-Mobile is going to 7 to 8 million, I mean, Verizon can easily get there. They're just a little bit behind the curve because they started deploying the C-band later than T-Mobile, but they have more spectrum in those rural parts. They got 200 megahertz contiguous. So once they get to 250, 300 million pops covered, I mean, they're going to easily report maybe more than 7 to 8 million. Honestly, they got 200 megahertz contiguous. They might go to 9 to 10 million or maybe even more. Who knows? But for now, all we know is their cap is 4 to 5 million. So when they hit that, what's next? We don't know. But for now, every single strategy that they laid out, it is not working. They have no guidance on any type of growth that they want to get to by X amount a year. T-Mobile has goals and targets that they want to hit, so they will remain a share taker in the market. Verizon, they don't have any goals to chase, so if they lose to cable, which they have been losing share to cable, they'll just say, oh, that customer will still pay us in some way. But it's a lot less. We don't know the structure behind the cable deal, but if cable's giving away lines for free or really cheap, how much are they paying per line? Maybe $5, maybe $6. When that customer used to pay, $30, $40, $50 a line directly with Verizon, that's a huge drop in money that's coming in. It's a big drop. So again, we're waiting to see. None of this is working. It's clear as a coffee pot. None of this is clearly working. You can see it in the numbers. Churn is up quarter over quarter. Losses in the consumer segment continue. It's just not working. Hans must go. I'm a true believer in that. But, his successor, if he doesn't make the changes necessary, they need new blood across the board. They just need an entirely new blood. They need a new management structure. They need new plans. They need to just be more competitive. They're not competitive. Their marketing they're putting out deals and they're structuring them in a way to help them financially. And some existing customers are buying up the rate card. So that's kind of where that free cash flow is coming from. But that's gonna run dry. I promise you that's gonna run dry. 100% of the base is not moving to the premium plan. That ain't happening. Verizon knows that. So what do they do in the future? They're losing big share right now in the market. So how do they grow and get those customers back? The ones that have gone to cable, the ones that are going to T-Mobile in the rural environment where T-Mobile has 2.5 and Verizon is struggling with congestion. How do they get those customers back? If T-Mobile builds a compelling network in a rural environment, they got 2.5, they got tons of backhaul, they're getting that customer on a great deal, they're giving them fixed wireless access. How does Verizon win that customer back? That is going to be a big task for whoever's in charge at that time. Right now it's Sam Path, but I don't know. He's done some changes, and maybe we need to give him more time, but it's not working. None of this is working, and you can see it in the balance sheet. Prepaid is a disaster. We saw that in the video yesterday. That is an insane disaster. And I had a feeling that would happen because Verizon doesn't know how to run prepaid. They've never been in prepaid. So they have a person in charge to run the value segment, and it's a complete disaster. Too many brands, stretching themselves too thin. They have to consolidate at some point. I think it's coming, but who knows, right? It's all up in the air. But what we know right now on black and white as of Q3, it's not working. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.